This conference will now be recorded.
Hi Sri, good morning, this is Mohan.
Hi Mohan, good morning.
Hi Sri, this is Karthik. Good morning.
If you're copied, there should be an okay. So yesterday we have discussed about this complex one actually, right? So today we'll start looking into this configuration, okay? And we'll try to finish off this probably if possible, okay? Now, the first thing is we will try to define the storage process, okay? WM46, right?
Yes, Sri.
Okay. So now I'm trying to create one storage process over here. The first thing is, so what are the steps I would like to have here? OB01, OB02, OB03 as of now. That's it. Okay. I don't want to have OB04, which is for the loading over here as of now. That we will see it in the later stages. Okay. Now, so you know the significance of this auto warehouse task. As we are planning to have the subsequent tasks to be automated, so we are trying to have this one. Okay, so for all these things I was trying to activate. So now first thing is we have created one storage process which is GOUT. Okay.
Sriram, one question. In our IBD, we have checked, we didn't check the last thing as automatic, right? But you have checked over here the last one.
Yeah, because it's not,
that is
this
the
is the
last
last
step.
step. This is not a last step here.
Okay.
Why? Because we even have OB04 also, which is a loading one.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because if in case if it is the last step, then that there is no subsequent one, then because after that it is an after put away, what would be the next subsequent task you would be doing in an inbound, right?
Yes, exactly.
But here that's not the case, right? Because after that also we have some tasks to be performed. Okay. So first thing is I've created one storage process. So this clear, right, Karthik?
Yes, yes, it is clear. But
Okay.
you didn't added that step yet,
I
right?
didn't add it. That I'll add it in the next sessions going forward. Okay, once I completed the wave one, then I'll come back to this. Okay.
Okay, fine, fine.
So this is the first thing, and define warehouse process step. Warehouse process step normally it's 2010 only. I'm just taking that. I'm not trying to create a new one for that. So let's ignore that thing. So now we have something called as a warehouse order creation rule, which we have discussed yesterday, right? So what I'll do is CWCR, maybe let me see. Okay, it's working. Okay, now what I'll do is WM46, the warehouse order creation rule would be ZWCR. Okay. WOCR for that. And as I said earlier, the storage process, you see this here, this is the place where I'll be assigning the storage process for this. Okay. Now we have another things over here, which I'll come back to this later. But as of now, I'm not using any of these things. Okay. What is that? Okay, I'll remove this item filter, some other stuff. Okay. Yeah. So I don't require as of now. So this is the one thing which I'm trying to create over here. So what is the other one we have created here? Now the WOCR is a ZWCR, which already we have just now done. We have created. Now let's find out the product. Okay, for which product we are trying to have this particular complex scenario. Why? Because it's not for all the products in your warehouse. We will be having this, right? That's what we have seen and we have discussed yesterday. So we have a product. Okay, let's take this particular product of DEC1, whatever it is. Okay, and it is in the storage type of DEC1. Okay, this is the storage type which we are trying to have this. Okay, now when we are trying to have this particular one, so what is the most important thing is we have discussed about the activity area, right? What is this? Yeah, define activity area. Okay, so let me define one activity area for this particular storage type. So activity area is ZPCK and the storage type is DEC1. Okay, we don't require this particular consolidation loop for that. It's taking a lot of time. I think there is a lot of data in this, I guess. Oh, my God.
See, let it open. Before that, I have small doubt actually here.
Tell me.
You explained already, but what is the major significance of the activity area here? So actually, we are creating the storage type. Under the storage type, storage bins we are creating.
Hmm.
But what is the significance of the activity area? Actually, I didn't understand.
Okay,
You
1 second. What is the activity we are trying to do here? Pick, right? There are two things which we need to understand here. You see this, the sorting of the bins, okay? That's one thing which we have it here. And apart from that, what is the activity here?
pick
And what is the one we are trying to do here?
or stock removal.
Hmm. Yeah, tell me. So in a warehouse process type, how does the system will identify what activity we are trying to define then? Hello?
Yes, yeah.
So basically, the warehouse process type needs like what activity area we are trying to define and what kind of an activity we are trying to do there. That's one thing. Apart from that, if you would like to sort your products based on like how you want to define your picking or how you want to define your put away, whether you want to pick your products on some kind of a manner, like whether you want to have it on a descending or ascending, whatever. Means sometimes what happens is the picking path, like if you want to define it only on one sequential way or you want to have it in another sequential way, that is one of the reason also why we require this particular activity areas. Okay, so basically what happens is that particular activity area will be assigned to some activities, means the bins will be assigned to that particular activity. If there is no activity areas and the activities was being assigned, we cannot perform any operations in the system. I mean, in a warehouse, I mean to say that. Okay.
We're doing currently stock removal, right? But here the activity is put away. Can we see the stock for the stock removal?
That's not the one. This is the one.
Yeah.
Okay. So for
So
put
this
away, we'll be doing the put away activity. Okay. And for picking, we'll be performing the picking activities. Okay.
so this activity will be assigned to the warehouse process type.
Oh yeah, it's not assigned. It's obviously because we have to define that basically, right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
It's a standard.
because
It's a standard one,
yeah,
right? Activity will be
that's a
standard.
standard one. We cannot do it because every process type needs a particular activity. What kind of an activity we are performing it, right?
Yes,
And
correct.
most important thing is the warehouse order creation rule will be triggered based on an activity area only. Okay.
Okay.
That is one thing. So there is multiple things actually here. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a kind of again, see, normally in a warehouse, what happens, it's like how basic we require this master data, such as your storage type, storage section, and the storage bins. The same way, in the EWM system, this is one of the concept, like activity area is also required. Okay, why? Because that's a kind of a bin will be assigned a proper activity. Whether if a bin is not assigned an internal activity, you cannot perform any activity for that. You're getting my point? Hello.
Yes, Sri.
So in this particular EWM, for this particular activity area, what happens is, okay, every bin will require certain master data to maintain, like what we require a storage type, or we require a storage section, or we require a bin type, whatever it is. So this is a set of master data. Agree? The
Yeah.
same way, we also need to maintain an activity and activity areas, okay, in order to properly pick or properly put away, or if you want to replenish. Okay, so based on the warehouse requirement, whatever we have for that particular bins only, we will try to define the activity areas for each storage type. Remember that. Okay, maybe one, or maybe it could be multiple ones. These activity area will be deciding like what warehouse orders will be required for picking, and what warehouse orders will be required for put away, and what warehouse orders will be required for your internal tasks. Okay, so it is a kind of a mandatory master data what we have here to perform, because as like in the when you're trying to create a bin, like why do we require all these things like storage type, storage section, and storage bins? Tell me. Because that's a master data, and that's how it has been defined in the system, right? Hello.
Yes, Sri. I'm with you.
Yeah, the same way in the AWM system, we have to define an activity area. So the two reasons for defining an activity area is because the process step. So basically, without a process step, can we perform any operations in your EWM system?
No.
Right, because that's a mandatory thing. Whatever the activities, or whatever whatever the movements that you want to perform in your warehouse, that all will be controlled with a warehouse process type. Now each and every warehouse process type should have an activity. What activity? Whether it should be a pick activity, or whether it should be a put away activity, or internal, or whatever it is. Now how does this activity comes into the picture? This activity comes into the picture only when you are trying to have an activity area, and the bins should have a particular activity. But you can't assign a bins directly. How you can assign? Only you will be assigning to a storage type, right?
Yes, correct.
That is what the backend what we have it actually. And the most important thing, as I told you also, this activity area plays a major role in order to determine your complex outbound scenarios. Like it's not like in your inbound that you straight away assign it to your warehouse process type, right? It all determines based on the factor of how which products determines which one, right? That's how it determines actually.
Okay. Okay, Sri.
Clear, or any other questions you're having here?
Uh, I mean, bit confusion. Anyway, let me just go through once again, and I will practice it.
What was the
If I
confusion
have
here?
any doubts, we need to practice it once again. I mean, about this
Okay, you do one
activity.
thing. When you're trying to perform a putaways, or what, when you try to do your inbound, do not create an activity area, and you try to see what happens then.
Okay.
System
Okay.
will
Right.
mandatory will ask you. That's a basic thing, because we can't do. Okay.
Okay. Right, Sri.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have defined this particular activity area, and now I'll try to sort the bins basically. Okay. The activity area is what GPCK, right? Yeah.
I mean, Sriram,
Uh,
sorry to cut you off.
uh,
So, why we are doing this sort sequence?
okay. Sorting will be mandatory for two things. Why? Because for each and every bin, we have to assign this particular activity, right?
Yes, true.
Yeah. So we have only assigned it at the storage type level. So in order to have this activity area and the particular activity to be assigned to this particular bins, that is one thing. Apart
Yes.
from that, the other important thing is, let's assume that there are some bins which have been deleted, or there are some bins which are not been required and the business has deleted something or other they have done here, right? Then in that case, the system will be looking out the bins in a sequential manner, basically. In order to have the bins to be sorted out in a sequential order based on an activity, then we will sort that. That's the reason. Okay.
Okay. And this
Hmm.
will be happening based on FIFO or something that which we
Nothing
assigned,
like that.
right?
Nothing with it. No, 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 no. It's not about the FIFO. This is only the sorting of the bins. That's it. To
Okay. For
put it in a
sorting.
sequentially, yes, for sorting of the
Yeah.
bins. But this has to be like, in the real time. Normally, we will not perform it every day. It's only one time activity. Okay. If in case if you have deleted some bins, or if you have added some bins, or if you modified some kind of a bins, then maybe after your production hours, or maybe after your some non-production time, you will sort this again. Okay.
Okay, Sri.
Mm.
Sri. And one more thing, how
Mm.
these numbers are being generated then?
The
Sequence.
sequential of the sequence of the bins, whatever we have, right? Based on that only it gets generated, the sort sequence.
Okay. Okay. Because when I
Mm.
observed that it is in FIFO, so I
Mm.
just asked.
Okay, but in the inbound you don't have a FIFO, right? Then
Yes, yes.
then
Okay,
inbound you don't. Yeah,
fine.
if
Thank
you
you.
if you even do it in the last in first out also, you'll have the sort sequence will be coming into the picture. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Thank you.
Yeah. So what else? Yeah. So we have defined the product. We already had a product, and we have defined an activity area, sorting the bins, creating, and all these things we have done so far. Now we will try to create one pack profile, guys. Okay. So this particular pack profile, why do we require? Yesterday we have discussed this particular thing, right? Pack profile one.
To create automatically a handling unit,
Yes,
picking
to have a
unit,
pick HU basically,
picking.
because remember this guys, pick HU will be only in the outbound. It will be never in an inbound scenarios. Okay. I'm just checking this Z pack. Okay. There is a significance of this create warehouse tasks and assign warehouse tasks also. Just remember these flags, guys. I'll come back to this. Now, packing mode, there are three different packing modes. One is for the simple algorithm, complex algorithm, and baddie. So baddie comes into the picture whenever you want to have a custom packing, or like multiple levels of packing, but we will not use this most frequently. Complex algorithm will comes into the picture if in case if you're using a cartonization planning concept, but that is not required as of now. But simple algorithm is the one which we'll be using most of the cases. Okay, this is the one. However, what happened? Let me use this. Okay, so I'm just using this particular simple algorithm one only. Okay. However, here define creation rule for the warehouse orders. Now we have already defined the creation rule. What is that? WM46 ZPCK. Okay. Oh, sorry, the ZWCR, no, which we are trying to define. Here, what is the packing profile now? It's a Z pack, which we have decided to create, right? This is the one. Fine. So if you see that pretty much all these things were been defined, like what are the ones we have now as per this? The product we have already defined. Activity area, yes. Sorting the bins, yes. Creating the warehouse order creation rule, yes. Storage process, yes. Activity, pack profile, and the determination of an activity area and the warehouse order creation rule is the one which we have missed out, right? Now, what we will try to do, define the search sequence for that. So my warehouse is WM46. My activity area is Z PCK something yet, yeah. And my activity, what is my activity? It's pick, right? And what is my warehouse order creation rule? It's Z WCR, right? So this is the one, the activity area determination. So what does that happens now? Tell me. Now let's assume that this activity area is having the storage type of ZDE1 basically. Agree, guys? Hello?
What is the storage type?
DEC1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because DEC1 is the one where we are trying to have that product. Now, it's not only DEC1, there could be multiple products in that particular storage type, right? Now, whatever the products that we pick it from that particular activity area, and based off that activity, the system will automatically will trigger the warehouse auto creation rule of ZWCR. Agree, guys? No? At least?
Yes. So
Yes.
basically, as you said,
Mm,
so first,
mm,
we are from whenever we create that OBD, that
mm.
will be distributed, and the warehouse process type will be determined. In warehouse process type, we will have this whether what is the activity which we need to have. In this
Mm.
activity, again, we will have. Storage type will be there. In storage type, there will be storage process rule. Based on storage process rule, we
Storage,
will
oh, come back,
determine.
come back, come back. No, one second, one second. Storage
uh,
type will not have a storage type rule.
Sorry, warehouse process type, we will assign storage process rule.
No, no, we are not assigned to warehouse process type here. This is not an inbound.
Oh, okay, okay. This is not inbound, right?
This is not an inbound. No, that's what the logic is. We have
Yes,
assigned the warehouse order creation rule to a storage process. The storage process is the one where we are having the steps of OB01, OB02, and OB03. That's how the complex outbound gets triggered. It's not an inbound. Remember this, guys. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Clear now to everyone?
If you don't mind, can you
Mm.
repeat this process again? I understood all this stuff. I just want to
Okay.
reiterate what you just said. That's it.
Okay. First thing, in order to have the basic thing, like what is the storage process now?
This process will have steps, a number of
Mm.
steps which we perform in our warehouse.
Yeah. So that those are the ones where the product has to undergo the sequential steps. For that, what did we do? We have created the steps of OB01, OB02, and OB03. Agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah. For that particular OB01, OB02, and OB03, we have assigned, what did we assign? A storage process, right? That is what, which is nothing but our ZW, sorry, what is the one? ZOUT, basically, right?
yes.
Now, after that, what did we do? We have created one warehouse order creation rule, right?
JWCR, huh?
Yes, ZWCR, I've created one warehouse order creation rule, and that warehouse order creation rule, I've assigned it to where? I've assigned the storage process to that. Agree?
Okay, got it.
No, that's what we did, right? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Yes, you can
Yeah.
continue. You're following me.
Yeah. So once we have defined that, what did we do? Then we have selected that which product you want to have. So then we have seen which storage type it was being stored in DEC1. So what did we do? For that particular DEC1, We have assigned one activity area and an activity and a sorting of that. Agree?
Yes.
Now after that, what did we do then? We have created one pack profile. Why did we require a pack profile? Because yes, because a pick HU is a mandatory. Why a pick HU is mandatory for us?
From the bin,
Pick
we need to remove the products and have to keep it in that pick handling units.
temporarily.
But
For a
it isn't
temporary
common. Is
purpose,
it?
we
That's what. But why do we require that? That's what I'm telling you.
I mean, basically, whenever we do this, picking thing, we will have a temporary, what is that? I mean, cart or something like that, where we place all our pick materials.
Mm. But is it mandatory to have that? That's what I'm trying to say.
If we have multiple products, that is mandatory.
Why?
Where do you? Because it is a physical. I mean, we are in order to track what exactly we are
Mm.
having.
If you remember
So
that video yesterday, what did we do?
yes, he took that blue cart initially.
Mm.
He have done that scanning. After
Mm.
that, he went to the respective bin locations or like. Uh,
Mm.
so he picked all the products by scanning with RF gun.
That's it he did. And he placed in that tote, right?
Yes, exactly. I meant to say
So
that.
what is happening? Yeah. So he picked the particular products, whatever is required for that particular warehouse order. He placed in that tote. Means we are replacing that in the particular, and then we are taking it to the work center, right?
Yes, yes.
That is what we okay, because we can't carry your all your products on your hand, right?
True, true.
Yeah, because there would be in larger products or there would be some other products, right? Because a pick handling unit can have multiple products, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that's the reason we require a pick handling unit and we have assigned it. Now, what did we do with the last step here? We have created one activity, sorry, we are determining the activity area now because we want the system for that particular product. Okay, we want to have this thing. What do you want to have? The activity area and as well as the activity of the pick. Okay, and then we want to have the warehouse order creation rule. So, what does that refers to now? Means when my product is picking from that particular activity area, system automatically will determine the complex outbound. Agree?
yes,
Clear now? But in inbound, this is not the configuration we have done. In inbound, it is completely different, if you remember that.
yes, yes. We will assign storage process in warehouse process, but we have warehouse order creation rule
Hmm.
where we assign the storage process.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Any
Sriram,
questions now?
nothing from my end.
Okay.
Nothing, so we can continue.
Okay then. Hope it is clear to everyone, guys, at least now. Okay.
Yes, clear.
Okay. Now we have the second set of configuration, right? So we have defined everything in the first set. So that is clear, I believe, right? Now in the second set of configuration, if you see that, what did we have? We have some work center, storage type, and the bin. Why do we require a work center now?
To pack the whatever the products were picked, so we need to pack it in a certain packing conditions, certain predefined packing
Work
conditions.
center, work center.
Yeah, in the work center, which is that is the area where we can pack the
So that's a
picked
physical
products from
location
the
basically,
bins.
because that's a place where we take your products and then we try to pack your products. Agree?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, that's what we are trying to do here. Okay. So now what we are trying to do here is we go to the master data, work center, define work center. Okay. The standard one is WERP or something, I think. Yes. In this particular WERP, what is our step OB02 stands for? That's for the packing, basically, right? OB02, okay, and 8030. This is what we have, basically what we said that we referred. Now, we already have one work center, but we have to create a bin for that. So what I'm trying to do here, LS01.
Sorry, you took 8030, right?
Obviously, because the storage type for this one is different, 8030 here,
Okay.
right? Because it can't be an 8030 is a storage type, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What is the storage type role?
It decides whether it's a.
No, we have a role for any storage type, right? What is the storage type role?
Yes, it says what type of process which it has, whether it is a put
That is
away.
okay. But we have a role, right?
Yes, exactly.
What is that?
For 8030, you are asking,
No,
or like?
I'm not asking for the 8030. For a work center, we will be having a role. We have seen this in the inbound. That's what I'm asking.
For storage type, which role will be having?
Storage. Okay, what is the role for a storage type then?
I guess sorry.
Is it picking? Is it picking?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No.
No.
We forgot it.
Guys, remember, guys, that's a basic.
No, but
For a storage
I
type,
I
we'll
remember
have
storage
blank.
role is there, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I forget even
we'll have a
significance of
12 entries of storage type roles. I've told you this multiple
it.
times. For
A,
staging area,
B,
we'll have a D. For a blank is for the physical storage type. E is for your work center, right? WM46. What is that? 8030, if you remember, right? Where is this? See? What is the storage type role here? E means what? That's a work center, right?
Okay.
8K, 12 entries. I've told this multiple times. Standard one will be blank means what does that refers to? That's your physical storage type, means the place where you're storing your products. A stands for something, B stands for pick point, and C and U. We have C the D, E for the work center, all these things. F for the doors, right?
But I told you picking. Just pick one. Is that right or not?
Picking.
Yeah.
When did I say for the picking? I didn't get that.
No problem. I tell you picking, but this one is work center. E work center.
OB02 I've said for the packing actually. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is the one. Sorry, Mohan.
no, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm closing this. So we have created, but ideally we have to assign this configuration. We have done it in the inbound. If you remember this logistics, extended warehouse management. Okay. Master data. We have it in the work center here. What is your work center? WERP, right?
Yes.
This is the one which will be assigned. Okay. So what did we do here in this particular config? If you see that. So work center OB02, which is the work center, and we have created work. Storage type 8030 is E, and we have created the bin. work center we have assigned it. Agree? Okay, this is the one. But now comes to the picture packing profile. Now, how does the system will determine and how does the system will create a what do you say that? The pick hits you automatically every time, right? Now again coming to this particular packaging specifications, things which we have discussed in the inbound phase. Okay. Where is this? Yeah. Okay. This doesn't have, but the standard one we have a PKHU and OUTB or something. Where that is gone? Let me see that. Yeah, this is the one which we have the standard one. So I'll make use of this one, guys. Now I believe if you remember that, what is the transaction to create that? CWM slash packs prick. Okay. Packaging specification group. What is the one? OUTB. Okay. Now this particular pick HU, whatever. Okay. Do you remember this packaging specifications and all we have created in the inbound, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So can anyone tell me what is the level, what is the packaging and all these things then? What happened? What happened, man? Nothing.
Karthik is a weak like
Pin drop silence.
It's better if you don't want to stay calm.
So just recap, guys, because these are all the important things which we have discussed in the inbound. So I'm just same things I'm covering up here. Nothing else I'm doing here. Okay.
Yes, Sridham. So the thing is like there are too many things to remember.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. But just have a recap, guys, if you because we are completing the complex outbound also. That's the reason because the main things of EWM we are getting covered here now. So at least before we complete the sessions, I request to uh, do one complex inbound. Okay, doesn't matter if you don't do the VAS also. Do the deconsolidation and do the complex outbound. That's it. These two scenarios you run. The rest of the things you do it whenever you have the free time because these are the most important things, guys. That's what I'm keep on stressing you. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Sridham. Sure.
Yeah.
okay,
So
Next.
just
see, definitely will do that.
yeah, because the heart of the EWM is POIC and LOIC, guys. The rest may be based out of your project experience or whatever it is. You will try to do it. Any interview you go, if this is if they are not asking these questions, you tell me. Definitely they'll ask you the questions. I'm telling you, this is what the EWM is. That's it. They'll ask you the master data, you know what is now, and they'll ask you what is a simple inbound and a simple outbound, you know that. And after that, immediately any interviewer will shift to this POAC or LOAC. Without POAC, LOAC, no interview will be closed off. I know that because this is the heart of the EWM.
Sure. Definitely, Steve. We will
Yeah,
take it up. We will. The
yeah.
thing is like
Because
we have done this again, but I
hmm,
forgot.
yeah,
Now,
just run the deconsolidation. I don't want the VAS also. Okay, VAS. Most of the projects, whatever I've worked so far, maybe like 70% to 60% they've used. Not all the projects they're using it, but yes, the decon. It's one of the important process. What I have seen in most of the projects they're using it. Mostly, maybe based on the requirements or whatever they're using it. Okay, but complex outbound till date, whatever the projects I've taken, In any project, I've never seen no one, I'm like, everyone is using it. That's what I'm telling you. Exceptional handling, which we have seen, because the most important things only which we have covered so far, yes. That's what I want to say. Okay. So try to practice it at least this weekend. Okay. Because I'll not take the sessions if you want. I thought to take the sessions, but if you want, just take it, gap and practice it and then come back. Okay.
Sure, Sriram. We will practice and come back.
Yeah. What else? Again, now this particular packaging specifications, yes. If you remember that a packaging specification comes into the picture based on the product specific, because this will determine how does a packing should be happen for a certain products. That's what I've shown you in the VAS, if you remember that. We have a levels, we have an elements, and we have so many things we have discussed about that. There's a lot of master data we have discussed there, if you remember, and if you go back to that particular session. So here what I'm trying to do is the pick HU. Can we create this pick HU as a product specific? Just a generic question, guys. I'm not asking you about the plan. Can we do it, Mohan, Karthik, or anyone?
Sorry, I didn't get it. Can you repeat? Can you
No.
create a pick
Can
HUS?
we create a pick HU as a product specific?
Product specific. No,
Yes,
Of
I
course,
mean,
in
yes,
ideal case, it is required. Of course, in ideal case, it is required because the different products in size it may be different. So obviously, same PKHU we cannot use it for all the different size of products. In ideal case.
Okay, okay. But ideally not required. Why? Because we are assigning this to a activity area and to a storage type. Basically, when you're assigning it to a storage type, most of the products, whatever you're having in a storage type, you will try to have it in the same product specifications, right?
So you mean to say same attributes of the
Hmm.
products, even and then
Same
size and something else, right?
size based on the dimensions, on the size, and based on the pallets, and based on everything, we will try to define that. Agree?
Ideally, agree. Maybe
Hmm.
different
No,
dimensions
it
of
is,
the
that's what.
products.
Basically, it is not mandatory to hard code your product here normally. Okay. But if it is required, you can do that. But as per my experience, we have never done that. Okay. Because every storage type, we will be defining a different packing materials. You're getting that?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Every
Could you very
storage type means every storage type in the sense every activity area will be
okay?
having a different packing materials, means in the sense, because for DEC1 storage type I require a carton box. For DEC2 storage type I would be requiring another pallet box, a kind of a pallet packing material. So then what I can do there, so I'll be defining a different pack profiles in the warehouse order creation rules, and I'll assign it over here. You're getting that?
Yeah, I got it. But if I want a different pack profiles for under one storage type, also it is possible,
You
right?
can change it. Then in that case, you don't hard code your pack profile in the warehouse order creation. You can do that. It's not like we can't do it. We can do that.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Because
Sri.
I'm not taking it as a product specific. That's the reason I'm just telling you that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the packing material is WM46-pack or something. I don't remember our pack material.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
see.
that is the same.
Okay.
W back.
Okay. Fine then. But we have to maintain the conditions, guys.
Yes.
Okay. Supply chain unit WM46 only. Pack profile Z pack. I've created Z PAC key. What did I create this? I forgot. Z pack only.
Yeah,
So
ZP.
okay, fine then. Now, okay, HU check I don't require because there is no product. If I try to do this, also system would not. Yeah, it won't allow me. I'll activate this one now. Okay. Fine. The object was saved. So what is happening here? OBDL WM46 Z pack, and this is the packaging specifications, right? So in this particular one, I have created, because the system, my pack profile, Z pack, whatever is there, I did gets determined. I've assigned it in the warehouse order creation rule, and that warehouse order creation rule will pick this. You're getting my point, guys?
What is OBDL here?
That's a condition type.
Okay.
Okay. That's a condition type, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions now?
I mean, Sriram, just before this, you asked about level, right? What do you mean by that?
Level in the sense multiple levels of packing.
Okay.
Like in normally in that particular case, where did we see that? We see that in multiple levels of packing. No, that is what the levels is. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Any questions? Guys?
Nothing, Sri, so far.
All right. So everything is clear, guys, so far?
Yes, it is clear.
Yeah. And there is a last set of transaction I have. CMB. There is one transaction actually. SIBA. Okay. Happened. This is it. Come on. Because it's one. God. For opening this particular, oh my god, it's taking a lot of time, guys. System has become too slow, basically. Chah. This is a lot of data this year. It's got piled up. Okay, so this particular is only last set of config we have, guys, whatever it is. Okay, this is the last set of config which has to be performed, the SIBA transaction, and after that we have the strategies to be maintained. That's it. Okay, so we will try to maintain this particular one, and we will do it in tomorrow session, guys. Okay, we'll complete this and then we'll start running the scenario. Okay. Hello.
Oh, okay, Sri. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see that. Okay then.
Yeah, I have a small doubt in inbound actually.
Tell me.
Complex POS, it is applicable when the two or more products are, coming together in a one pack, generally, right? So how do the system can understand that two different products are coming in the one, I mean, together? How the system can know? I mean,
Because
with
you
respect to
have,
the configuration.
I mean, how the two, because it would be packed in this one, right? Basically.
No,
Hello?
unless we receive physically, so
Obviously, yeah, unless
we
we,
don't know yeah, we don't know the two different products are, I mean, clubbed together in one packing. Unless we receive physically,
Mhm.
we don't know. So
Yes.
with respect to the configuration, how do we
Mhm.
identify? So how the system can understand, okay, these products has to undergo these three different types of steps like IB01, IB02, deconsolidation, something like that. Because
No,
we are giving the control indicator in the product master. So based on the control indicator, it will identify the what storage process, what steps has to perform, something like that.
okay.
Hope you are getting
So,
my question.
yeah. So
Yes.
probably the thing is, in a particular inbound or whatever it is, we will be having the, because we will be packing it right. Normally, whatever, if your vendor is sending or whatever it is, how would we know? In the sense, in general practice, a vendor will be sending you the information, right? Like what products you'll be getting and all. You getting my point?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So based on that only, it comes into the picture. Okay.
No. Generally, vendor he will give the delivery note or something else. Okay, I am sending these products, maybe 1 to 10 products I am sending. So he will give
Okay.
the general information, what quantity, what is your purchase order, something
Mm-hmm.
information he'll give it.
Mm.
So when it comes to the with respect to the configuration, how the system can trigger the because control indicator we are giving in the product
One is
master.
the control indicator. We have it in the product master, right?
So yeah, based on that only,
Yeah. Mm.
we are not giving them for certain group of products together this control indicator. See, control
Yeah.
indicator
Then,
for
then,
if
then in that case, it will not trigger for you, right?
no, for example, now 10 products I'm receiving from the vendor. So for the 10 products, I will give the control indicator for only two products. So in that case, system can trigger the storage process for this only the two products, not for the remaining eight products, because the I
Obviously,
mean
it
vendor
won't. It
is
won't
sending
trigger that. Yeah.
so vendor is sending all the 10 products in the one box only. You just assume.
Mm. Okay.
So in the configuration, so we need to give for all the 10 products that control indicator to identify the that complex POSC, inbound POSC,
Okay.
correct?
Mm.
So
See,
we need to
basic.
give it for all, irrespective of because
One
we
second.
don't
One
unless
second.
we
See,
receive physically.
it won't unless and until if you receive it physically, in the sense that's the one thing here we have. What happens is all the products whatever we have, so system will not determine the warehouse process type for all these things, right?
Correct.
So only for the products whatever the process has been maintained, only for that products only this thing will be determined, the very first thing.
Correct.
You're getting my point. For the rest of